Now let's get to business. I would like to invite our knowledge partner for today, Shri Abhishek Kiran Gupta ji, CEO of CRE Matrix, to share his research report on the sales data of housing in the MMR region. Abhishek Gupta ji is a software engineer from Mumbai University and pursued his master's in business administration in the USA. He's headed the research at JLL for 5+ years and headed real estate desk at Bank of America for 5 years. He's the co-founder and CEO at CRE Matrix and Index Tab, a real estate analytics startup, offering accurate, real-time, comprehensive, and authentic data on offices, residential, warehousing, and you name it, and all the major cities in Mumbai. We present to you Abhishek ji.
Thank you. So my presentation. Once the presentation is ready, I can start. Thank you. Thank you. So while we go through those slides, I have about 10, 12 minutes. But I want to definitely mention one thing for Raigad, right? They've coined this word Mumbai 3.0. I'll just share a small little statistics. Bombay City, and when I say Bombay City, I mean Mulund to VT and maybe Churchgate to Borivali, sells about 50 to 55,000 apartments registered every year, right? Raigad sells about 30 to 35,000 apartments. So we're not too far, frankly speaking. Yes, of course, the affordability quotient in terms of rupee terms might be much lower because Mumbai apartments average is about 1.5 crores. Raigad might be about 40 lakhs. But it's a pretty evolving big city. If you go back 10 years, Raigad was probably at 10,000 apartments per year. So you can see the evolution from 10 to about 35,000. It's a pretty handsome evolution in terms of number of people who choose to live there. I'm just, for now, removing the affordability quotient because there are some other parts of MMR which are affordable as well. But why Raigad? So let's see some of those things over here. So we've thrown some numbers. We all register on RERA. 4,000 RERA registered projects since RERA started, right? So about 5 years. 60% of those is under construction. 40% our friends over here have delivered, right? That's a lot of apartments they've delivered in the last 4 or 5 years. In terms of 3 lakh apartments are registered, 2 lakhs are sold, or 1 lakh is sold and 2 lakhs is under construction. What I'm trying to say is, that's a lot of apartments. If you divide that 2 lakhs by 35,000, that's about only 4.5 years of inventory, right? Next slide. I was talking about affordability. Yes, very, very affordable place. 36 lakhs is the average size. 12,000 crores is what you contribute out of the total MMR kitty that goes as revenue to the exchequer. 7,000 is the value at which you get sold every year. So it is an area that is to be reckoned with, right? And perfectly, I think 3.0 perfectly fits in because Bombay, Thane, and then Raigad. So I don't know whether it's an accident or it's by design, but 3.0 just perfectly fits in. Next. We can go to the next one. Okay. Now I want to spend some time over here. What part of Raigad, what we've done is we've pulled out the top 5 micro markets or areas which are doing very well in Raigad. Number 1 by far is Panvel, right? That's where all the action is in terms of sales and launches. Number 2 is Neral. Number 3 is Taloja and then Kharghar. And you can see the first 3, which is your Panvel, Neral and Taloja, are pretty neck to neck, plus or minus 10% here and there. On the contrary, in some places I see Neral even bigger than Panvel. We'll go to the next one. Given that we have details of every apartment that any developer in this room has sold, we exactly know where your buyers came from. We also know what their age profile is. Very important to know, the younger your age profile of buyers is, please reach them on social media, right? We all spend time on Facebook and Insta. That's a lot of time spent on those social media platforms. That's where you need to advertise. The older they are, probably need to go to the traditional methods of marketing, which is the telephone, right? That's what this shows you. 70% of people who are purchasing in these locations are between the age 25 and 40. The next one, where are the buyers of Panvel coming from? Now, all Panvel developers, if you believed that 50% of your buyers came from Panvel, that is wrong. It's about 30%. The rest come from other locations where you need to know, and please advertise there. Please get your channel partners from there. Better ROI for you, right? Similarly, we also pulled it up for Kharghar, and it's even lower. 23% come from Kharghar. The rest come from other areas. We can do this at a building level. We can do it at your individual building level, or at a city level, or even at a Kharghar level, any level you want. Next. All right, the most affordable micro markets in Kharghar. By far, again, all marks go to Neral. That is the place where the action is. That's the place where the development is. That's where the broker should be. That's where the developer should be. That's where the bank should be. There's a banker over here, introduced. That's where everybody should be. Then, of course, there's Oran, Karjat, Kalamboli, etc. I won't read out the slide, but it's clearly Neral all the way. That's where the action is. Moving forward. Yeah, so let's spend some more time on what's happening there. So given that Neral and Karjat, I guess, are the twins pretty much close by, that's where the affordable launches are. 4,000 apartments in 18. Another 3,500 in 19. That's a lot of apartments, right? Just to digress for a minute, I remember 20 years back, and I say this example all the time, Santa Cruz, where I live, the pricing was about 10,000 rupees. Today it's about 65,000 rupees, so it's multiplied 6 times. And I would love Mr. Niranjan Hindani to say, sir, when you launched Powai 25 years back probably, you were selling at what price? Less than 2,000? And what is it now? You're being modest. What I'm trying to say is it's multiplied more than 14 times. Santa Cruz is multiplied 6 times. And so for Bombay to go from, or Santa Cruz to go from 60 to 6 lakh 10 times, I don't think it's happening in my lifetime. But for Raigad to go from a 2,000 or a 2,500 and multiply 6 or 7 times is possible in my lifetime. I'll just pause for a second to people digest this point I'm trying to make. It just cannot happen, right? Now, I'm not saying that Bombay is not a place to invest and not a place to buy, but Raigad is probably a great place to be. Moving on. What is the popular size of apartments that one should make there? So if you're making studio apartments, they should be around 150 square feet only. And that's what sells the maximum. You can see the tall skyscraper there. If you're making apartments which are studios, above 160 square feet, there's going to be a problem. The bankers might not fund you. The brokers might not come to sell your apartment. Right? Now, if you go to 1.5 bedroom, there we have a bit of a variety. That's good to see. So about 250 square feet, about 300 or 400 square feet. The next slide will go with 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms, again, the sweet spot is between 300 to maybe 500 square feet. That's where your apartment should be. Anything less, there's a problem. Anything more, please consider it to be suicide. Yep. 3 bedrooms come bikte hain wahan pe, so not much to dwell on there, but whatever gets sold, it could be in the shape of villas as well, are slightly larger in size, but obviously much more modest compared to a Bombay 3-bedroom apartment. All right, next. Karjat is no much different, but it looks like the apartments are slightly bigger in Karjat. My sense is they're going to be more second homes there, that's why. Not too many apartments, but more of the bungalows and villas and all those. But as you can see, the numbers are right in front of you. Sizes of studios, sizes of 1 bedroom and 3 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. Next slide. There you go. The reason why you've got smaller digits in 3 bedrooms is because those are very few. So the rock star over there is 1 beds and 2 beds. And you'll have to be specially gifted to screw that up. Next. Sorry. All right. We saw the age profile of buyers in the overall Raigad market. Now what we have done is we've pulled out the age profile of buyers in the Neral and the Karjat markets. And you can see it's a little more uniformly proportioned. So it looks like you've got the younger guys and the middle-aged and maybe some of the seniors buying houses there. My sense is the seniors are going to be the ones who have second homes. Many of them could be sitting here. Many could be outside, but yeah, looks like that's what it says. But if you're looking for an apartment, it should be in the under 45 age bracket. The next one will tell you where are the buyers of Neral and Karjat coming from. So let's go there. Now, I'm going to pause here for a second because when I look at this slide and I said it's wrong, we need to get that checked. Remember, Panvel and Kharghar were all 30% from that particular location. Panvel was 30%, Kharghar was about 25, 26%. I was very impressed to see that it's everywhere. The Karjas and the Nerals guys are coming from all possible locations, contrary to what one would believe. Like, sir, would you say that all people who buy in Powai now, not when you started, are from Powai? Would you typically say that? No? Okay, then you'd read more data than others. But I keep hearing from developers all the time that हमारे जो गोरेगांव के buyers हैं वो तो गोरेगांव से ही आते हैं. And that's not necessarily true, right? And especially for Neral and Karjat. You can see the highest, the top 5 micro markets are only less than 3%. If anybody wants to guess why this is true, can raise their hand and answer. I'll just wait for 10 seconds. You want to answer? Yes, sir. That's a great answer. So that's a great answer. Yes. So my sense is 5 years from now, these numbers will change because you'll have a lot of people buying there. Plus, all the second home guys are from Bombay. So, yeah. So thank you for the answer. Next. Now let's compare. Yeah, the next one. Okay, this is where I started with and why Raigad 3.0 is right, or Mumbai 3.0 is the right answer or the right name for Raigad. So, Bombay sells about 50, 55,000. Thane obviously is a huge district. Half of Navi Mumbai is Thane. So that's about 1 lakh apartments. Raigad is about 30 to 35,000 apartments. Now, I've intentionally not kept the figure of the rupee terms because obviously it skews the numbers. Bombay is at 1.5 crores. Raigad is at 36 lakhs. We saw that. So we've not done that. But number of apartments are huge. And I think people should take cognizance of that. 55 and 35. We keep harping on Bombay city all the time. We need to stop doing that. Okay, we can do that, but let's talk about other places in Bombay as well. Moving on. How has the ticket size changed? Right? People are getting richer. Developers are building slightly bigger houses. Of course, the cost also rises, so you're making them more expensive, maybe by 2%, 5% every year, or inflation. That's what this says. So over the years, affordability quotient of Raigad has absolutely remained intact. Because if it has only increased by 3 or 5%, that's barely inflationary increase. Plus, let's not forget that India is now at the lowest interest rates ever in the last 70 years. Right? So affordability has only gotten better for the guys who pay in complete white, who are depending on home loans and want to buy these houses. And that's the place to be. Next. Average housing, that's Raigad, Palghar, and Thane. Not too different. We've intentionally cherry-picked the affordable part of Thane as well, which is the northern part. We've tried to avoid the Thane city, which is the Majhiwada Godbandar, because that's where there are bigger houses. But yes. Oh, thank you. You can see that this is how the sizes have moved. Now, media is here, analysts are here. We kept saying work from home, COVID. But, which is true, people want bigger houses, people want offices in their houses. But at the end of the day, what counts is this, right? Where is the affordability? Yeah, I want bigger houses, but I need to also afford it. Next. I was asked to speak more about, other than residential, because we spoke a lot on residential, but we didn't find too many offices in your district, sir. We hopefully, some of our developers over here will make some really, really wonderful houses outside Kharghar. But industrial is big, and I think that will create a lot of jobs. The airport will really, really help, because that will be the only airport in the country which will have a seaport and an airport of international standards next to each other. Yep. So that will be a big magnet. We've been saying this for the last 15 years, but looks like it's happening now, right? So we can probably confidently say it now. So industrial, we just picked up a few names. 10 million square feet of industrial operational in Raigad is not small and on any terms. It's pretty handsome, right? So we just totaled it, and the total number of assets are about 228, and many more upcoming. Great. I guess that's my last, but let's see. Yep, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Abhishek ji, for the great insight. Can I now request Shri Virendra Jadhav ji to hand over the certificate of appreciation to Abhishek ji? Can we please get a round of applause?